So, good morning. It's been a little while since I started my exposure therapy, and I must say, I am noticing little changes. And it's one of those things that you worry that you're doing everything in vain. And I think part of the condition of having any sort of mental health problem is you always criticize yourself so much. And you worry that what you're doing isn't the right thing, that's not going to get you anywhere. So when you do notice subtle, small changes, I guess you've got to take that. And I'm noticing that my exposure therapy is getting easier, going to the shop, being surrounded by people. I'm also realising that it's getting quite addictive to get better. It's like with anything, like when you go to the gym, when when you start eating healthily, you start getting into a rhythm and it gets easier, and then it becomes quite addictive, and it's all about staying in that rhythm. And the way that I do it is just by, not in a over the top way, because I don't stay absolutely rigid to it, but I kind of control my environment and control what I can within my environment, which sounds like I am not coming to terms with the fact that losing control is what makes me anxious in the first place. However, I'm absolutely aware that being in control in the way I am now is completely different to being in control with trying to control things that I can't control. Right now I'm controlling things I can. There are things that I can't control, and that's what I used to obsess over, and I still obsess over, obviously. But now I've got things that are within my control that I can do. Things like staying organised with my pill box. In there I've got my ashwagandha, my fish oils, my vitamin D, and my citalopram. I make a list every day on my whiteboard so I have small goals to achieve. I do my exposure therapy, I do physical exercise, and today I'm going back to my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu after a couple months off due to busy business period over the Christmas months. But now finally, sort of midway through January, I'm getting back to it. All these things are things that I can control, and they're only really positive. I'm not eating as much sugar, but again, I'm not beating myself up if I have a tiny bit of sugar, or if someone offers me a piece of orange, or my partner's mother comes over and offers me a bit of cake. I'll say I'll just have a small piece, but I'm not beating myself up about that. I'm saying, yeah, it happened, and that's just the way it is. I can't control it, that it's happened. So what I can do is accept it and say, that doesn't necessarily make me morally or emotionally weak. It doesn't reflect who I am. It's simply something that might make me feel bad, and I've got to live with that consequence. And as soon as you realise that what you do, anything you do, like say eating sugar that you know is going to make you feel bad, if you eat it and then you feel bad, you just got to say, well, I knew this was going to happen, but not spiral. And that's the difficult bit. Not then spiral and say, well, fuck it, everything's gone, I might as well just start eating loads of sugar, might as well just give up exposure therapy, I'm not going to do any exercise. And I've done that in the past. And it's quite a difficult thing to get that fine line between self-acceptance of your mistakes and then keep going, and never, ever, ever, ever making any mistakes, ever, and trying to be a perfectionist. There is no such thing as having a perfect life or a perfect routine. They simply do the best you can, and if you mess up, you mess up. But don't let that make you fall off. Don't let that make you become lazy, which is so incredibly easy for people like us to do. So today I'm going to continue with exposure therapy, and then I've got jiu-jitsu tonight, got work and business stuff to do today, which, by the way, I make candles. I've got 2 candle companies. And yeah, so time to do some exposure therapy for today. It's pretty nice, bright, high pressure, no clouds in the sky, kind of freezing cold January day, but gotta get out there because, as I say, sometimes it's so easy to make any excuse not to get out there, including when it's so cold out there. But gotta get it done. So here we go. Gonna go do some exposure therapy now, go to the shop, try and get a little drive on, and just enjoy being out, enjoy that freedom that it brings. That, you know, there's nothing wrong with being addicted to freedom. There's nothing wrong with being addicted to that. That's a pretty good addiction to have, I think. So, especially compared to what I consider being addicted to safety, which is what I think people with agoraphobia have. It's that addiction to being safe and that panic when you can't get your fix of that addiction. So it's time to go out there, time to do it. So here I am at the shop again. It's crazy, it's always this bit when I actually get to the shop, it's like the point of no return almost, but it's not, because I can just go straight back. But it's like, this is where I always, suddenly the anxiety hits me when I'm parked up. Suddenly, like, I need to go to the toilet. I feel nervous, you know, grim. I don't want to get out. I have to control my breathing a bit more. All that kind of stuff. I'm even turning the car on now as if I want to go, but I don't. I want to do this so badly. What I might do is go for a little drive. And then come back, but I don't know. I kind of just want to get it done. It's like one of those where it's such an inconvenience to go and come back, so it's like I just kind of want to do it. It's weird. It's so weird. I'm here. I'm anxious. Because I need to go into a shop and because there's people. Yeah, oh, man, it's madness, absolute madness, man. But it's got to be done. All I'm doing now is my breathing exercise, basically, where I breathe in for 7 seconds, but then I breathe out for 11 seconds. And that way I'm not like trying to gasp for air kind of thing. Like it's never going to get to that because I'm controlling my breathing and preempting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out, literally just walk to the entrance, and if I need to walk back I can, and we'll see. So here goes. So managed to do that one. Weird. It's like your perspective is totally different when you're in that moment of fear compared to that moment of when you're actually then doing it. When you're in that moment of fear, it feels like this is stupid. Why on earth would I do this? This could make me feel really uncomfortable. And even though you know in some place, in some way, that logically what you're thinking is wrong or not in the realms of reality, it kind of goes out the window. You lose that perspective when you feel in that anxious mode. But guaranteed, as soon as you go out there and just start doing it anyway, perspective goes back to this is pretty normal. And those are the thought, like the permanent thought changes that will take place if you just do this enough. Because you know that on the other side of that fear is a feeling of complete normality. and that it's what you should be doing. So it's a strange one for sure, but once you're actually out there, I've never ever, I mean, I've had some only at the very beginning of feeling anxious, which, you know, when I very first started this, maybe 10 years ago or something, when I first started to feel absolutely awful, only then did I really have it where I'd think this is going to be terrible, and it actually was, because I didn't know what I was dealing with. Whereas now that you know what you're dealing with, you know what it is in your brain and how it works, once you educate yourself a little bit on what anxiety is, once you actually start doing things, that moment of losing perspective just changes. And also, even though today seemed like a challenge, I've got to remember I just drove here. I didn't stop at any point. I didn't have to call anyone. I didn't have to do anything. I just kind of did it. So, in terms of, I mean, I did it with no crutches on a Monday, having not done this for a couple of days, you know. So it really was pretty good in the grand scheme of things. I'll just keep doing it all year, all you know, forever really, until it just really sets in that weird feeling of worry that preempts an event that you think will make you feel anxious. That weird feeling of worry that preempts it is actually not going to last forever. It's not real. It goes away. You're not in any danger. You may feel uncomfortable, but you're not in any danger. You can use your breathing. As soon as I got in there, I just started a conversation with some people, and we were laughing, and sort of, I just generally strike up a conversation with anyone. It puts me at ease straight away. I must realise there's nothing to be afraid of out here. There's nothing that's going to hurt me. It's okay, and I think I just need to keep doing that, you know. So that's that. Another day of exposure therapy done. Now time to drive home, get some work done. You know, it's like 10 in the morning now. I need to get some business done. But that's another day done, in the bag. Really buzzing about that. And again, it goes back to the conversation we had before. Yeah, sure, I might have slipped up in terms of I felt anxious, but that's fine. That's part of the journey. It is what it is, and I'm human, so I've got to forgive myself for that, and realise that what I'm doing in general is really good. It's for the greater good. So yeah, time to go crack on with some business. Get that done.